+1/+1, Planeswalk, Proliferate.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian and today I'm playing Atraxa, Praetor's Voice. Now most of you are thinking, Atraxa, Praetor's Voice, is this going to be a Super Friends deck packed to the brim with Planeswalkers? Well, no, this is actually a Sagas deck because we're going to be reading ahead without the read ahead ability. We're going to be speed reading by putting additional counters onto our Sagas. Now, this deck is a little bit of an odd one because this is not the most powerful way to build Atraxa, because I don't think that that deck is fun. I did still include some Planeswalkers, especially Planeswalkers that function as removal in this deck, because I want the deck to win some games. But the core of this deck is actually a Selesnya, or I should say an Abzan, enchantment deck. And this also gets me a great excuse to run some of the new Saga Praetors, like Shuldred. We also have, I believe, Elishnorn right here. I took out Vorinclex just because we don't have quite enough creatures, but this Vorinclex is still in the mix, so we can, you know, do Praetor things. Do greater Praetor things. The feature of this deck includes actually quite a few +1/+1 counters as well, because this commander, Atraxa, Praetor's Voice, proliferates on your end step. She's a powerful creature on her own, 4 mana, 4/4, Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink, hard to deal with in the air, and an Angel Horror on top of everything else. But if we start putting +1/+1 counters onto her and everything else, proliferating them, our board gets huge. So we've got cards like Calyx, we've got Ball of the Imposter, we've got all these things that put +1/+1 counters, so not only are we proliferating our Sagas, we also have Sagas that give us more things to proliferate. Dragon Defensive Temple is a great example since it gives us a +1/+1 counter, and then more on future creatures that enter the battlefield. Because this is an Enchantress deck at its core, we are running all of the things that when you cast an enchantment, you draw a card, or when you have an enchantment enter the battlefield, you draw a card. I'm actually not running all of them. I'm running the ones that I felt were the best for this deck, which means there's probably 4 or 5 cards. I think my favorite among these is Citizen Champion, since it gets the +1/+1 counters too. Really, really fun with Proliferate. Fun excuse to run some big scary enchantments too, like Mirari's Wake, Cure Best of Sea Gods, and ways to bring things back from the graveyard, because Sagas, the old Sagas, once they were done reading, just went to the grave, and now you can play them again with Muldrotha. You might be noticing there's very, very little non-enchantment-based removal in this deck. It's just enchantments and planeswalkers. That's how I want it to be. I also have 2 cards that have a very unique effect here. Marchesa, who's on the backside of Invasion of Fiora. This is a board wipe. And Galissa. Both of these cards, upon attack, hitting somebody, get you removing counters from a permanent, which means you can actually reset your Sagas back down to the first chapter using these abilities. It's really fun synergy. The deck is super great, and if you're a person who really likes Selesnya stuff, well, the deck at its core is Selesnya, so it's perfect for somebody like me. We're going to take it into the queue, and we're going to proliferate a counter or 2. It's 5 color enchantments versus 4 color enchantments with Go-Shintai of Life's Origin. This scary little shrine spits out more shrines when shrines enter the battlefield under their control, meaning you get so many shrines, which gives you more shrine abilities, and if any enchantments happen to end up in your graveyard, great, you can pay 5, tap this, and bring it straight back into play. Seriously, a strong card. Ridiculous. I understand we needed a better shrine commander, but not like this. Not like this. Go-Shintai of Life's Origin, are you ready, though? Because I have quite the stellar start, I gotta say. With a turn 2 Sithis of Harvest Hand. That's right, cast an enchantment, gain a life, draw a card, and if that wasn't enough, maybe a Citizen Champion. Ooh, similar ability. It's a +1/+1 counter too, though. It's also on Enter the Battlefield, so it triggers twice for things like Era of Enlightenment. Very spicy. Era of Enlightenment, speaking of, let's go. Let's draw some cards. I want to draw some cards. We scry too. I would like lands. I actually think that this could be fine. Just getting ready to counter their thing. I'm gonna throw back the Banishing Light. If they play this turn, that's not gonna be as good, but I don't think they will. I gain 2 life. I check Auto Tapper. Good. Gonna throw down this Armored Scrap Gorger. It comes into play tap because of the authority of the consoles, and we pass that to them. Would you like to play? Because I have a Wash Away. A very tactical counterspell in any deck that happens to have blue in it. Should this card be banned in this format? Yes! But until it is, like, I'll just throw it into decks. Kind of like how I throw Esper Sentinel into a lot of decks and Ragvan into a lot of decks. Well, hi there, Go-Shintai. Before you even draw a card, I go for the counterspell. They might have a counterspell of their own, seeing as they have 2 mana up. Let's find out. Hello, are things happening here? Things are happening. They'll be able to recast it next turn. They have tons and tons and tons of mana. Unless we get a land and we can destroy this. Or we just tap our Scrap Gorger. We're tapping and scrapping and slapping. Comes into play tapped. We know. Here comes Binding the Old Gods. We get to draw a card. We are forced to exile a card out of our graveyard. A land! Get this out of here. Play Rafine's Tower. Since we drew it, may as well. And I'll swing in for 2. Go get him! Consider? What am I considering? Oh, whatever they considered, they put it into their hand. Not into their graveyard. I've got 5 mana for next turn. We could throw down Atraxa. We do have all our colors. We could exile Enchantress's Presence with Calyx. We could just pop down Citizen Champion or First a Row in Games. We'll see. Calyx, Guided by Fate. That's a great card. That's why we have it on our deck. Puts a +1/+1 counter currently on itself. Ooh, search for a forest. I'll get something that's technically a forest. I'll get something that's a forest and a swamp and an island. And dang, that's so crazy. Would you look at that? I have some domain, so I can take this Calyx right out of play. First to Roam Games, casting another one. They're Sleepy Hedroning at me. Okay. Good for you. All my stuff comes into play tapped. It's great. You want to destroy this? No? Alright, fun. We also now have Invasion of Fiora, because Marchesa is really cool. Sometimes you don't have to destroy anything. Sometimes you just really want Marchesa, because she removes counters from your permanents. Okay, Go-Shintai, you can come back down. They have got 6 mana, and you get an extra blocker. Here comes the Go-Shintai. A 3/4, gonna stop my attacks in their tracks. Unless we just get rid of it, which I might. I'm gonna put 3 +1/+1 counters onto my first striker here. These all get Death Touch. Ooh, first strike, Death Touch. What a beautiful combination. What an absolutely wonderful combination. One of my faves. I'm gonna swing in with my wee 1/1 and my 5/5. Hey, you wanna trade? I traded a Shrine token for 5 damage. They'll take 1. I want to just start proliferating. We've got counters to spare. I want to get that Calyx. Grab this Go-Shintai, and I'll stick it underneath... Hand of Enlightenment. I don't want to put it under the Leyline Binding and turn it into a goodie bag. Doesn't matter. They put that back into the command zone, and here comes the Citizen Champion. Sleepy Hedron? Hello? Are you tired? I'll hit him with a shrug, blow him a kiss, eat some popcorn. Just like, you know, regular stuff we do here. GBK, what you gonna do? Hello, I have cards. Do you have cards too? Cards worth proliferating? No hating, just proliferating. Haunting of Infinite Rage. They get to draw a card, and during their upkeep, they'll currently be doing 1 damage to any target. Growth Spiral, they romp. And I'm going to exile something from their graveyard. Let me tap. Let me tap. Let me tap. I want to tap so bad. Blue. And I'll exile the Consider. I do control a big creature. Get a Grateful Apparition. We're going to plus. There was no enchantment there. Really, Calyx? Really? 3, 4, 5, 6. Not what I need. Here comes Destiny Spinner. I'm going to go ahead and start chunking these guys up. I don't have any artifacts that I'd want to be bouncing. Bring out Atraxa. You want to wash away? You got that good blue stuff? Hello? Oh, dang, that's crazy. Did you know that creatures and enchantments I control can't be countered? Did you know? Did you know that they can't be countered because I played a Destiny Spinner? Let's go! Damage straight on their face. We're gonna exile another thing out of their graveyard. You get a Sleepy Hadron me, huh? Rude. Let's proliferate. Gold! I think you killed the Grateful Apparition. I feel like they're gonna need a board wipe here. We're running away with this game. They didn't have one. Victory to the 4-color enchantment deck. Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. It's like having a crater hoof in the command zone. Jetmir is so sweet because it buffs itself and your entire battlefield based on the number of creatures you control. Starting with +1/+0 and Vigilance, then +2/+0, Vigilance and Trample, and then +3/+0, Vigilance, Trample, and Double Strike. Seriously, a powerful card that can get out of control really, really fast. Their game plan is going to be going wide. Things that make tokens, just cards that are tokens, lots of little tiny dudes. And then, some way to protect them, and they swing in. Archon of Emeria. Oh, that's actually not what I would expect, since this limits the number of cards that either of us can cast. This is going to come in tapped because it is a non-basic. We're going to throw down our Weaver of Harmony. See if we get a land. It is a basic land. Lucky us. And also they have a 2/3 flyer. Jetmir. The Jetmir's Garden. Adeline. Adeline will be spitting out a token whenever one of their creatures attacks. Thankfully, I can kill said token. Do I feel like copying an ability here? Kinda do. Yeah. Let's go for it. First of our own games, or Restoration of Iganjo. Restoration of Iganjo will get me some plans and can also let me kind of cheat things out into play. I'm going to do this. We're going to get both the planes we have out of our deck. There's only 2 of them. We're going to get them both. Oh, look at that. More lands. I'll take Command Tower. I will have to discard at end of turn, and that's fine. I will discard this planes that I doubled because I wanted more of them. It's fine. We're actually going to be discarding, I think, the other one, too. Or maybe the Scrap Gorger to cheat it into play since it doesn't count as casting a spell. Ooh, Stensia Uprising spits out a token in their end step. And if they happen to have, I think it's 13 permanents, they can sacrifice it to deal 7 damage. Oh, I'm discarding all right. I'm going to throw this Armored Scrap Gorger into the grave to bring it right back. Command Tower will come in tapped, and that's just fine. What I need is more colors of mana. So we're going to grab islands and swamps. We're going to throw the island or the swamp. Let's throw the swamp into play. And I think we're going to be leading into our board wipe with Phyrexian Scriptures. Lets me keep one thing alive, and only one thing alive. I'm personally going to turn Atraxa into a, well, something spooky. Let's see. Can't cast 2 spells. But won't be able to do Atraxa and the Scriptures next turn. Alright, I take it as is. We also do have this Eternal Wanderer as a potential board wipe. And I think it's going to be the way we roll. Look! More lands in hand. Excellent. Eternal Wanderer. Cool. I am going to -4. You will keep human or human? Human or human? I'm gonna go with human token. Now I can make tokens too. They can make a token in their end step. I can make a token whenever I attack or block. An Eternal Wanderer can only be attacked by one creature, meaning that she's really safe right now. I'm going to be going up to 11 permanents, just one short of that sacrifice ability. Do I want to swing in here? I think I do. I'm going to start with a Mirari's Wake, though. Make it so my lands will tap for double mana. Swing in, get myself a little guy. They could quadruple block. I don't think they would want to, but they technically could. Gonna get myself another Grimcline Pathway into play. First to row in games. Make a human. And then make a samurai. You've got tokens, I've got tokens too. Ah, King Darien, who could make their tokens hexproof and indestructible. Also gives everybody +1/+1 and has an activated ability that can spit out a token. Cool. That's a lot of you. They now have 13. They could sacrifice this and take out Eternal Wanderer or go for my face. They're going for my face. I'm at 6 life now. Oh, but I'm about to have so much on this battlefield. Oh, so much. Target a creature. Oh, yeah. Throw it all on the Architect. Oh, we want to actually start with Atraxa, just so our dear friend Auto Tapper doesn't cause too much trouble. Kiora bests the Sea Gods. You might be getting a big buff from Jetmir, but everything's gonna be real tapped. Oh, yeah. Also, I guess I can put Darien in jail. Throw him underneath the Mirari's Wake. Let's do it. Take Darien, throw him under the wake. Wake me up! Wake him up inside. He can't wake up. He's really tired. I'll go ahead and... Oops. Make a samurai. These are hexproof and indestructible, but Architect of Restoration still gets me a token, so I'm still going to swing in. Yeah, proliferate all of this. Their things are tapped. We've got this about to steal one of their permanents. They don't have enough mana for like a Banefire to my face. Defiler of Faith spits out a token when they cast a white permanent, but you know, I think that would really look good on my side of the battlefield. We take the Defiler. We start spitting out more tokens. We get Kaya, exile things more. We can even use the Wanderer to blink one of their tokens to get rid of it. We have a board wipe, a Glissa. That's game. GG, Jetmir. Brutaclad, Telcor Engineer. Makes a token and then turns all the tokens into a token of whatever one you happen to have. It's a very strong card. I would definitely recommend you check out my video if you're interested in Brutaclad because it's super fun. He's an artifact, so you can do artifact synergy too, makes artifact tokens, and you just have to be careful that you don't make too many artifact tokens, because if you do, you try to make over 250, the game will stop giving them to you. In Arena, you have a maximum number of tokens in Arena. This is not true in Paper Magic. It's one of the saddest parts of playing in Arena. Ooh, a lovely command tower off the top means I can do Nisian Wanderer into Sterling Grove. See if they're going to kill this. Maybe bolt it. Nope. Sterling Grove is going to give Shroud to all of my enchantments, which means nobody can touch them. Not me, not them. They can also be sacrificed to put an enchantment card on top of my deck. Nice. We could play Atraxa next turn, though it wouldn't do that much. We have nothing to proliferate, and they... Okay. They turned my Grove into a Temple of Malady? Sure. That's fine with me. I'm good with this. I'm not proliferating this Saga, so I have to deselect it. I want to get that buff next turn. It makes me feel like they have a lot of things that are going to be targeting my permanents. If they wanted to Chaos Warp the thing that was giving my enchantment Shroud. Before I even had an enchantment on the battlefield. Ooh, look at you and your treasure tokens, which are still tokens. We're going to buff up Atraxa since she has, you know, Flying Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink. The Lifelink is the most relevant part here. Oh, are you killing Atraxa? 2 mana, that's hard to do in those colors. They could also just bounce her. In we swing for 7. And since they ramped us, we can throw down Kiora Best the Sea God. It's a really good Saga. And if we proliferate it, we can tap their treasures down. Perfect. I'm still gonna do it. Unless this is a counterspell? Maybe? If it is a counterspell, we have Muldrotha. Oh. Kiora Best the Sea Gods. We make a Kraken. But the Kraken is actually a Wanderer. An Nisian Wanderer. I'll proliferate. I do want to steal. So I am going to go to chapter 2 here. This will flip over. And I am wondering if our opponent has something that deals 4 damage to all the creatures in the battlefield. Seems like the kind of card that would be good here. We have lots of extra lands off the Wanderer. If they have a Storm's Wrath, it would wipe our board. And if you want to wipe my board, that's fine. That's just Goldspan Dragon. They kiss. Wait. I can steal the Goldspan Dragon. They don't kiss. I want that Goldspan Dragon. My opponent knows that I want the Goldspan Dragon. That's game. Thalia and the Gitrog Monster. A combo that causes your creatures and lands to come into play tapped, while they can play an extra land per turn and sacrifice creatures and lands when they attack to draw a card. In fact, they have to. We have some removal right here, some exiling removal. I will take it, though because they are in Abzan colors, I have to expect that they're going to have a good amount of removal. Removal for enchantments. Start with Llanowar Wastes. Sure. Ooh, found some blue mana. Don't need it right away. We're going to keep playing out these pain lands to give me a variety here. Finding the old gods, we've got removal of our own now. We can set up a second white source for that Pull of the Mist Moon. We're just waiting for them, and they're just waiting for us. Oh, a wedding announcement! Spitting out little creatures. Oh, they're so cute, though. So cute that they must be destroyed. We're going to play Binding the Old Gods. We're going to get rid of the wedding announcement rather than the servant attending the wedding. The source of food. The human. Llanowar Elves. All right. Instead of a Thalion to get Rog Monster. Sure. By the way, this also has First Strike and Death Touch, so blocking it just doesn't work very well. Which land do I want to get? Zagoth Triome. Gets me more black and more blue and more green. All cards, all things that I want. Gonna ramp. Cultivate. And a little bit more life to get some more lands into play. I don't really need double blue except for one card. We already have double blue. We can get double black that doesn't require a pain land, and green is good. White is good. If I was looking to play the Destiny Spinner, we would have needed to get some more green out of this. Vorinclex! Vorinclex also grabs forests. Hi, Vorinclex. They get a land into the graveyard. They probably have some ways to play lands from graveyards since it works well with their deck. We got Vraska. We could turn Vorinclex into a treasure. Sounds pretty good. We could also exile him. I'm going to start with Destiny Spinner. Throw down Vraska, Betrayal's Sting. I'm going to use the -2 ability to turn Vorinclex into a tasty treasure. It can be sacrificed for mana, but only once. Goes back to being a creature in the graveyard. Hi, Thalia and the Gitrog monster. Get that extra land in. Swiftfoot Boots. Ooh! Boots on a frog. Do I need to chump block? Hi. I don't get to chump block. They're doing an Assassin's Trophy. I'll grab this forest. They sacrificed the treasure collects. Thalia with the boots. Taking out Vraska. I assume sacrificing this or a land. They've got plenty of mana. Bye, Vraska. You're a good card. Trying to decide how I want to go for these, since we do actually have some really sweet removal or removal-like things. I don't want to waste too much of my kicking. Eldest Reborn, make them sacrifice that Llanowar Elf. I'm playing Atraxa. This comes into play tapped because of Thalia. And we're going to go to Chapter 2. Discard a card. It was a land. Their graveyard's actually getting almost big enough for me to transform Shuldred, which is good. Very good. Cruelty of Gix. Oh no! My Shuldred! Unless... Do you want to go for Chapter 2 or Chapter 3? Nope. Chapter 1. They're hitting the Shuldred from my hand. We'll be able to bring it back, though, because, well, that's what we do. Towards the Plowshares. Atraxa is gone. She can come back, though. Swing in. Sacrifice a land. They can play an extra land, though. I don't think they played any lands this turn. A goose! Who do I want to bring back? Do I want to take their Vorinclex? I wouldn't be able to transform it. Vraska, Shuldred. These are both so good! Make them sacrifice their goose. Sounds very tempting. I'm going for it. Goodbye, goose. I'm going to go ahead and kick this. I don't have a great non-land permanent to exile here, but it still works. comes in tapped, no matter what, because of Thalia and Gitrog. Next turn, I'm planning on flipping Shelly. They won't have the boots to stand on. I'm getting rid of their Cruelty at Gix, though. Hey. Hi, Glissa. More first strike Death Touchers. It's a really, really nasty combo of abilities. Hi. I can make my shoulder big. Didn't... Oh, never mind. They're gonna get, once again, Elspeth Conquers Death. I thought that we were safe from the removal. By the way, this is also enchantment removal, repeatable enchantment removal. We are in danger. Did they go for chapter 1, 2, or 3? Looks like they're going for chapter 2 again. I imagine they're going to be able to find some removal. Probably not for this turn, because they only have 1 mana. This has Menace, so I'm going to take the swing first. And now we're gonna flip, flip, flip Adelphia. We're going to destroy Glissa. And if you're wondering why, it's because Glissa can destroy the Saga. This comes into play tapped. Thanks, Thalia and Gitrog monster. By the way, chapter 2. Each opponent will be discarding 3 cards and milling 3. And then the final part is, well... Do you know Rise of the Dark Realms? Because the true scriptures, the backside of Sheoldred, is a mass reanimation. We get every single creature from every single graveyard. Yes, put more into the graveyard. You don't have a Tristani in there, do you? Good. Good. Fury Ultimatum. Oh, they're gonna bring him back before I can! Fine. Be that way. I hope I get a board wipe off the top. The Ultimatum. Bringing back all of these good stuffs. Remember, that Glissa can destroy my Saga, so I'll probably need to do Atraxa just to still bring back the creatures in my graveyard. Creature. They could do our Saga before we could do our Saga. So sad. Too bad. And look at all that sweet, sweet ramp. Vorinclex grabbing them from some forests. Forest Plains Swamp. Vetting Announcement gets them another human. They discard all the cards in their hands. Oh. Now I'm not casting it or anything, but... this still seems pretty good. Still seems pretty good. Will I stay alive, though? I'm not going to have any blockers other than this. This is the struggle of, well... you! The Thalia and the Gitrog monster. Super duper strong. Everybody's tapped. They have to sacrifice again. Whatever they sacrifice, they'll be able to bring back off Cruelty of Gix. Look at that. I actually have the lands for Yasharn. Nice. The goose returns! Do I die this turn? Oh, I very die. So we can do this. Exile, doesn't really matter what. Use that mana. Turn this into a critter. I still have 1 blocker. But they have trample damage. Everybody swings in. At most, I can only prevent 4. It's 11 damage. We are at 10 life. It's gonna be a good game. GG. Thalia, and a Gitrog monster. Atrios, Shroud Veiled, a god on the opponent's side of the battlefield that puts coin counters onto a creature at the end of turn. As long as Atrios is out, when one of those coined up creatures dies or is exiled, it goes under their control. And it also re-enters the battlefield, which I think is maybe even more relevant because there's a lot of good enter the battlefield stuff in black and white. We've got 2 lands, a Mind Stone. They're ramping too. Well, I can ramp even harder. And I could also just destroy their Mind Stone. This is gonna blow your mind! Stone. Using Vraska, Golgari Queen's minus ability to destroy the Mind Stone. They can't crack it to draw cards since they didn't have any mana up. And Vraska's just chilling. She's gonna +2 each turn. She's a little hard to remove, and she's going to get me deeper and deeper into my deck if I feel like sacrificing some permanents, which, who knows, I might. There's a lot of cards that give us like 2 or 3 permanents on the battlefield just because of how they work, and that's going to add up really, really nicely with Vraska. It's like this Restoration of Iganjo. It adds up to quite a bit. Firemind Vessel, more ramp. Is there anything here I'd like to discard to bring back? Nope. I did think about sacrificing a land just to bring it back with Restoration of Iganjo, but it didn't feel like it was going to be a priority here. Let's get down Atraxa, our lovely little commander. She comes in tapped because of Authority of the Consuls, and so will all my other creatures. I+, and I'm just holding my swords to Plowshares. We proliferate all of my permanents. Look at that. They gained another life and it came in tapped. Hi, Atrios. Atrios is not a creature. Currently just a legendary enchantment. I cannot hit it with Swords to Plowshares. And what would they like to steal? Looks like that Architect of Restoration. If they kill this, exile it, wipe the board, etc., it's gonna be gone. Feeling like time to attack. I've got this wee spirit, and I'm going to sacrifice it. Munch it up, try to find a land. Ah, look at that. A land. Have this enter the battlefield. And it would be real cool to put out Vorinclex here, but I think that's too dangerous. I feel like there's too high of a chance that our opponent then follows up with a board wipe and leaves us really far behind on board. Instead, a Samurai with Double Strike. And we're gonna proliferate. We are not gonna proliferate the coin counter on this. That is bad for us. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference if there's more than 1 coin, but still, don't want it. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, and apparently nothing to do with it. We've played 2 Planeswalkers, and that was enough to get them to leave the game. GG, Atrios. Whole lot of lands, a little bit of ramp, some removal, and we're up against Sorin Imperious Bloodlord. This is a vampire Planeswalker that cheats out vampires. This guy's really great. He's got this -3 ability that just lets you put a vampire from your hand onto the battlefield. So one of the big things you used to see this Sorin do in Brawl was turn 1, you get a swamp. Then you cast Dark Ritual, you get the sword onto the battlefield, you -3, and I don't know, whatever this biggest, scariest, most ferocious vampire you have, suddenly it's on the battlefield. But you're limited to mono black with this deck. Sorin also has 2 other abilities, one which buffs creatures until end of turn, or puts a +1/+1 counter if it happens to be a vampire, and another one that sacrifices creatures. Ooh, how violent! In order to deal damage to any target. Really fun. Here comes Sorin. They ramped a bit with that Arcane Signet, and they're bringing out a vampire. This one's Epicure of Blood. Whenever they gain life, I lose life. That's going to add up probably pretty fast. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Epicure of Blood under a Banishing Light. They do have some enchantment removal in black. Black has a couple ones. Feed the Swarm is a good one. But this is going to be here probably for a while. I don't expect them to be able to remove it right away, which makes me feel a little bit more confident about my ability to maintain this battlefield. I'm going to play Dryad since it lets me play an extra land this turn. And hold my swords to Plowshares. Knight of Ebon Legion, that's a great card. Before this ability resolves, I'm actually going to try to exile the Callous Blood Mage. And they're sacrificing it to draw cards. Sure. We've got Calyx, Replicating Ring, Eldest Reborn. I'm going to let them choose Knight of the Ebon Legion or Sorin. Who will you keep alive? They got rid of their knight. This knight is super good, by the way. And I can swing at Sorin for 2 damage. Sorin Vampire Lord! Oh, Lord, that's a vampire. Dealing 4 damage to any target. I believe this is a Planeswalker deck Sorin, by the way, because these are both the M20 Sorins. Yes, this was technically legal in Standard, but a real cute one. Do I want to start my Proliferating train? Soon. I'm getting my Calyx down. He puts a +1/+1 counter on himself. Replicating Ring is going to put Knight counters on itself. And at the start of the next turn, we're going to grab a creature or Planeswalker from the graveyards and put it into play under our control. Now, that means we could take this Knight of Ebon Legion. We could take this Callous Blood Mage. Good stuff here. Ooh, Gary! We're going to lose an extra life here, too, since they're gaining life. They have lots of devotion to black. Are you going to kill this Calyx? Because if you put this in the graveyard, I can take it. I'm not going to say this is a super strong Planeswalker, but I mean, this like last ability is really fun. Some good vampire crime. There goes Calyx. They don't want me copying my Banishing Light. That's pretty smart. But I could just bring him back. I would like to take from them. I'm taking Calyx. Calyx returns to the battlefield, getting a +1/+1 counter onto himself. Here comes Atraxa, the Proliferator. Nisian Wanderer. I don't currently have any enchantments, but we can make copies of enchantments. And we're going to proliferate that +1/+1 counter and the Knight counter. We do also have this Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Good for blocking. Atraxa goes away, but she can come back. We have plenty of mana available. Ooh, Trena, the last Blood Chief, able to reanimate a creature of my choosing when she attacks in. Taxes with Atraxas. It is on attack that this ability happens, so we can block with Atraxa. She does have Death Touch, and we just have to be a little spooked by these Planeswalkers. Now let's see, who would come back? Knight of Ebon Legion, that's a good one. Marauding Blight Priest, more easily blocked. Speaking of blocking, I think that's what we should do. I'm going to give them the Marauding Blight Priest. Do I want to trade with Atraxa? Yep, I want to trade with Atraxa. Lose an extra life there. Rafine's Tower, not really what I was looking for. I am still willing to go for Atraxa and that again. They have 49 life, by the way. Just want to show you 49 life. That's a lot. If I attack in here, I suspect that they would double block. I'm not going to. We proliferate, our Calyx gets bigger, we get closer to making 8 rings. Thank you, Replicating Ring. Love it when you fire. Calyx continue to enchunginate. Atraxa, she's gone. That's fine. They also just killed this Sorin Vampire Lord to get rid of this Atraxa since they didn't have a blocker in the air. They didn't sacrifice a vampire. This is a vampire. This is not. This is just a zombie. I'm just gonna take the 5. It's gonna be 6 since they also gained life. Here comes Atraxa! Again! I could attack the Sorin. I'm actually going to attack their face, though. See if they want to block with this. If they double block, then this doesn't die, so it makes more sense to just jump block, unless they're willing to let me hit, which means we can make a copy of Banishing Light. Yes, please. Which gets me some removal. Some +1/+1. It gets me all the stuff I want here. I'm going to take out this Blight Priest. I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on Atraxa so she can proliferate herself. And we even get a forest out of our deck. Thank you, Nessian Wanderer. The hit goes through. Atraxa's going to grow. So is a bunch of other stuff. The next time this gets a night counter from its own ability, not because I put one on it, it's gonna pop. Cosmos Elixir, definitely gonna be drawing them cards because they have a lot of life. I'll take 2. We're gonna gain a lot of life off our Atraxa swinging in. They could be getting removal. They are a mono black deck. And all I have is mana. But my god, do I have mana. I have so much mana. I've got mana to spare. I'm swinging at Atraxa at Sorin. Doesn't kill him. That's fine. We're getting Calyx in at their face. Going to try to make a copy of Banishing Light. Take out their Cosmos Elixir. Okay, so they didn't block. I will make a copy. I'm gonna make a copy of Banishing Light. We're going to exile Cosmos Elixir. No card draw for you. We're gonna put a +1/+1 counter onto this Wanderer. Get a land. Play the land. And now proliferate! Once we get these counters on each of our creatures, we'll be just doubling that up each turn, getting an extra counter of each type. Henrika can force a symmetrical sacrifice, cause some card draw, or transform into a flying, death-touching, life-linking beast. Oh, also, hey, Sorin. The Mirthless. You know he doesn't have any mirth? By the way, it's possible that they meant to block there, but they accidentally clicked through to removal, to blocking sage, and, you know, weren't able to declare it as a blocker. Kai's Ghost Form means that if Henrika Donati dies, she will come back. You're drawing a card, losing a life. You got plenty of life to spare. This is lands. Atraxa, go with the super sexy Sorin. Calyx, keep going for face. This time the blocks are locked. They stop block and roll. And we proliferate! Ooh, Yawgmoth lets them sacrifice creatures to put -1/-1 counters on things and draw cards. If they have some good sacrificeables, they can undo my +1/+1 counters with -1/-1 counters. Henrika getting another +1/+1. What do you choose here? Draw a card, lose a life. Again, plenty of life to give. This is a new instance of Henrika, so they can choose that ability again. I'll let it hit. Yawgmoth does have, as I'm being pointed out to in the chat, a very relevant line here, protection from humans. Calyx used to be a planeswalker. Oh, he's a human druid. He can block Calyx for free. How dare he? Replicating Ring. Getting more stuff. Look! More mana! We're cultivating! I still have some basics left in my deck. I'll throw some onto the battlefield. And I'm going to use this Atraxa. This is why we didn't block. Take out Sorin, or at least try to. They might have removal in hand. Heals me up, takes me away from the brink of death, and we still proliferate. Calyx is just, like, absolutely massive at this point. Deadly Dispute, sacrificing their Signet to draw some cards. And here's the Celestus. This can either be activated directly or just passively when day becomes night or night becomes day. Filter their cards in hand. All right, Henrika, what's it going to be? Sacrifice or transform? Looks like we're sacrificing. All right, I don't need this Paradise Druid. They probably meant to animate their Hive of the Eye Tyrant first. That's okay. We all mess up our clicky clackies occasionally. Or frequently. Alright, deck, do not give me lands. Deck. You prankster. They got a lot of death touch here. I'm not a fan of that. But also, I don't want to trade these two. Let's swing at Sorin. They'll be able to replay him. That's fine. He'll cost 2 more. We'll keep on buffing up our creatures. And Atraxa, by the way, gaining us more and more life each turn because of this Proliferate. Really adding up to a lot. The Celestus, because night has become day, or day has become night. Let's draw a card. Oh, that's a card they probably actually really would have wanted. Liliana Dreadhorde General. Okay. Sorry about your being discarded. And there's a land. Sorin Imperious Bloodlord returns to the battlefield. Can pump it up. It's time for Henrika to transform. When she transforms, she does have Death Touch. She has Flying, Death Touch, and Lifelink, and a pump ability. I'm surprised they didn't hold this land in hand for the next Celestus trigger. Might just be the instinctual, I want to play my cards, I have them in hand. Here's Henrika Infernal Seer! He's very large. Oh, and they're both swinging in. Well, I am actually willing to make a trade here. I'm going to trade my extremely large Atraxa for their Henrika. Pump it up. There we go. Use up that mana. Leave themselves still with the ability to block with the Hive, though. I can replay my Atraxa. I have so much mana. I have flooded so hard this game. But, like, that's fine. It's fine. I'm okay with it. Teachings of the Kirin. We're going to mill 3, get ourselves a Spirit. We're also possibly going to get another land in hand. Calyx, go ahead and get those triggers. Overgrown Tomb. Mill. Hey, those are actually all cards I kind of wanted more than what I currently have. Yeah, all right. You know what? It's fine. We do the thing. We swing in. I'm going to throw this one at Sorin, this one at their face. Make them play Sorin again. Hive of the Eye Tyrant with the chump block. We don't get to copy a thing. That's fine. We still get to proliferate. Teachings of the Kirin. Bring it to the next chapter. Throw a +1/+1 counter onto Atraxa. Calyx getting huge. Wanderer 2. Atraxa reset, but still growing. Nice. Falconwrath Noble. A Blood Artist. Since we both have what I'll call extremely inflated life totals, I don't know how much of a difference this is going to make. I definitely am holding the power currently unless they find a card draw engine. Hi, Sorin. That's 8 more rings. The Teaching of the Kirin transforms. We get triggers. Yeah, sure. You can get your first one. We're gonna throw this down, this down. So many lands, so little time. Atraxa. Kill him again. Wanderer, you've actually gotten me enough lands. I'm willing to trade you for the Vampire of the Dire Moon. It's important to have ramp and fixing in a 4-color deck. But I think I have enough. I think I have enough. Calyx is staying back. He knows this is not his battle to fight. And Sorin is dead again. And we proliferate after we lose some life. Falconwrath Noble gonna do Falconwrath Noble things. Losing life, losing life. I keep hovering over Atraxa like, what's going on over here? Don't question it. Don't question the enchantments. They're just here to cause you problems. We've got 16 extra rings here. How many lands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 lands? Woof! Over half. Or I should say, it's half. It's half my lands. Blood does blood things. They sacrifice it, discard a swamp, get some more. Whatever it is they got, they either can't play it or they don't want to play it. And it's still going to be a big fight to get that life total lower. We're going to swing in with these 3. We're going to exile a non-creature card. Where's that Liliana? We're hitting on Liliana. Get a +1/+1 counter onto this. $14 damage, 6/4 damage. Nothing you can easily block. This estate able to make more blood each turn to get more filtering. They're blocking Calyx to stop me from copying this Banishing Light or Cure and Touch to Rochi. Either of them does trigger for this ability. And I'm going to show them what I've got. It's more ramp. You love ramp. We're now huge. We're so big that I think even a Meat Hook Massacre would not be large enough to get rid of this Calyx since he's been proliferated so many times. So you heard I like lands? Oh, I love them. Can't get enough of them. I think when I'm building a deck, dang, you know what this deck needs? It needs lands in it. Agadeem's Awakening, a mass reanimation spell! Ooh, it's time for a life total swing too with Grey Merchant of Asphodel draining me for 6. Yawgmoth out here, able to repeatedly block, able to sacrifice these creatures to kill mine, draw cards. Knight of the Ebon Legion, this could be the swing that wins them the game. Also, Death Priest and Merkle can make skeletons. It's cool. Kind of surprised they didn't like sacrifice something to kill a thing so they'd get skeletons, but you know, that's up to them. Removal, you say? I would love some removal. I do not have a non-land permanent in my hand for this ability, but my opponent does not know that. So we're going to kick Pull of the Mist Moon and use it to exile Yawgmoth. We're going to get another +1/+1 counter onto Calyx. They do have a potential future Death Toucher, but they don't have one right now. I didn't put the counter on this or this since I knew that they'd be able to kill it. Goodbye, Avacyn's Pilgrim. Goodbye, Yawgmoth. I'll take trades. I will exile another non-creature. Let's go for Sorin. Get you a nice little +1/+1 counter. Would you care to double block? I will absolutely eat this up. I will say yum yum, tasty tasty. Not the blocks I expected, but sure, we proliferate! 42 life, 55 life, a 17/17 still on this battlefield. And this Atraxa finally is bigger than the other Atraxa. You know, the 7 mana 7/7 with all the stuff that it does? Oh my god, that's an Aetherflux Reservoir. If I wasn't hitting their face, they could have killed me. They could have killed me. 55 life. They can pay 50 life to deal 50 damage. Hey, Aetherflux Reservoir. How are you doing? This gains them an extra life. It's also, I believe, going to flip back today. It fills up their graveyard. Oh, Silver Smoke Ghoul. That's actually something they want in our graveyard. They did gain enough life. This does come back into play. Daytime, nighttime, nighttime, daytime. That's another land. Game, you get out of here. We're swinging in. I'm actually going to make a spirit this time. Hitting Henrika. Give me a little chump blocker. You block my 17/17. I see your 4 bears. It's a lot of bears to have. We're dealing 15 damage to their face. We're gaining life. We're at 63. And we proliferate! Is the top card of their deck a vampire? It's not. They don't get it for free. But they do know what it is, so they can choose if they'd want to put it into the graveyard. They don't, because it's Sheoldred! Sheoldred, who punishes me for drawing cards. Every time I do, I lose 2 life, and every time they do, they gain life. Ooh. Just need to gain a little more life. Just 6 more life. That's all I ask. They've got plenty of vampires, so they make some blood. They can use that if they have cards in hand for the draw. They did gain enough life. The Silver Smoke Ghoul comes back. They may as well gain more life here. Oh, it was a Crux of Fate! We could have brought ourselves both to Top Deck City! Oh, hey, Kami of Bamboo Groves. Do you guys know what this card is? It's 2 more lands! My opponent has a lot of Death Touchers. Too many Death Touchers. God dang, that's crazy. That's crazy that you have, like, cards in your graveyard. I'm gonna get rid of 1. I'm going to make another little guy. Atraxa, carry me home. They're going Death Touch for the Curing Touched Orochi. The Hive of the Eye Tyrant still gets in. By the way, I could have actually activated this multiple times if I wanted multiple exiles for whatever reason. I don't know why that's how that works, but it gets ability stacking. That happens with all of these lands. Do I want to play this? No, I'm going to show them what it is. Hey, check this out. More forests. You guys like lands, right? You guys like lands, right? Having a 1/1 versus having 2 more lands, to me, they're about the same right now. We've got them down to 35 life. They're going to be gaining more, though, with this card draw off of Sheoldred. And now they only have 1 Death Toucher left, which I'm going to say is a great thing, because it means that I am willing to trade Calyx with Sheoldred. I wasn't willing to trade it with the Aetherborn, and that's fine. Up to 42 life. Aetherflux Reservoir saying, ooh, I want to blast for 50 so bad. Oh, I suddenly feel really good about me removing things from their graveyard. That's a veto. They just milled that veto. So hey, Vito, you want to turn that life gain into life pain? Because I think you do. We're gonna get, yes, 8 more rings next turn. Hey, Vito. If they play their commander after this, we are actually in danger. Okay, they're not doing it. I was gonna say their Aetherflux Reservoir would be gaining them a lot of life, and that would be removing quite a bit of my life total. Just the one. Ding bong. Just 2 more. Ding bong, ding dong. Oh no, I was at a nice life total for a second. Ooh. There goes 2 more. They can pay up to 6 life every single turn. This comes back. They can sacrifice it again. They do have 2 mana. How am I still getting lands? How? I forgot to animate this. That's fine. It can be a blocker. Hey, do you want to block? This can win you the game. This can win you the game. That's 50. They can actually pay 50 life, but it would kill them right now. Do you want to die? Do you want to go out like a hero? Do you want to pay 50 life, exactly the number you have, to kill nothing? That's what I thought. All right, Calyx, killing Vito. Not gonna trade with Sheoldred. I'm gonna go ahead and say we're safe again. We are safe. Flooded, yes, but safe. Pay 50 life, kill a 1/1. The hero's way out. Dusklegion Zealot, gonna draw them more cards. They better pay the 6. I want to see them pay the 6 on Black Market Connections. They have card advantage. I do not. And all I've done is draw lands and a thing that made lands. It's great. I love 1/1s. This can't block, by the way, if you're wondering why they're not doing anything with it. A Thoughtseize! Oh, don't look. I'm sorry. Hey, so, I got a Bright Climb Pathway and an Overgrown Farmland. I'm thinking about dirt. That's all I know is dirt. All I've ever known is dirt. They're almost back up to 50 life here, by the way. There's the 50, the big 5-0, Bloodthirsty Aerialist. Ooh, they must have just drawn that because this is going to get bigger with each life gain instance. Ooh, that's going to be good, especially if they want to throw down the Sorin, which they definitely have enough mana for. Ow. Also. Hey. How you doing, Sorin? You want to give something Death Touch? Ah, yes, I'm just a humble dirt farmer. And you're full of blood. This can be brought back with the blood that they get off this. But because this has vigilance, I'm willing to just, like, let it die, play it again. We'll trade it with this soon. I need to keep my life total high. Especially because I'm not drawing anything! If I draw land here, I'm gonna be a little mad. Oh, they're so close. So close to the perfect life total. Okay, you know what? It could be worse. Here's Atraxa. Hey. Here's Sanctum Weaver. Hey, also. We can either put the counter on this, but I'm planning on trading it with the Bloodthirsty Aerialist. I'm going to put it on the Sanctum Weaver. We can make it have 4 toughness. With 4 toughness, well, I don't know, it's better. Oh, right. Do you want to trade Children for Calyx? I feel like I offered this before. The offer still stands. You want to trade? It's not a land, it's a creature that does the job of a land? Yes! Okay, they're just blocking with the Markov Baron. Boo! And we... proliferate! 69. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Something kind of cheeky they could do. They could actually pay 50 life and kill Atraxa if they want a free swing. Just saying. The gravy. Oh, it's so sloppy. The gravy, it's so sloppy. Black market connections, their value engines all online. I'm just, listen, I can animate my Hive of the Eye Tyrant. I don't need to do that right now. If they want to start swinging in, they can start swinging in. Ooh, a Scrivener. This got changed for alchemy. Whenever you gain life in your turn, get a +1/+1 counter. Whenever you lose life during your turn, put a +1/+1 counter. Oh, look at that. This is lose life. Never thought I'd see the day where the Scrivener has perfect synergy. Bloodthirsty Aerialist. Nice blood. They can bring this back if they have 2 blood. They have 1 blood. Nope, they're just discarding and drawing. I'm surprised they didn't draw a card, or they didn't pay the 6 there. With all this life, number go up. Vindictive Vampire. Wait, maybe they're trying to get to 100 life, just above 100 life, so they can kill me like that. They only have 32 cards left in their deck, by the way. I have 61. They have been going deep. They also milled themselves a teeny tiny bit. All they have to do is get to 101. Dalmatians? No, life. Come on, Bloodthirsty Aerialist. Come at me, bro. Gain that 16. Live your best life. No, they're doing the thing. They're going to take out Atraxa for the... Okay, this is what I said they might do at the start. Giving them the free swing here to just smack me in the face for a fine 16 life. That's what I felt they might do the turn before, since now they also have a second big flyer. Love to see it. Okay, I want to... How? 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 Play Atraxa again. I pass the turn. I play in a land. Oh, somebody in the chat thinks I should have cycling lands? Dang, that's crazy. It's like I have some of them in the deck. I even drew one very early in the game, and I had to make the decision. Ooh, you know, I've got like 6 lands. Do I want to play it? Do I want to cycle it? It's on the battlefield. You wonder where that one is. They should be paying the 6. They should be going wide. They should be... Actually, I think that would get more triggers on a Vampire Scrivener, too, because each of these is a separate instance of life gain and... or life loss. I'm pretty sure. Drana, Liberator of Malahir. If she hits my face, they get +1/+1 counters on all their attackers. Twilight Prophet going to drain me for life at the start of the turn. Also get them more card advantage. Their deck is popping off, and I'm sitting here drawing lands. I've put on auto pass. It's going to just pass priority until it's time for me to block. They can win. I can only block one of these. It's time for GG. This doesn't actually change anything, though it's really fun and they can pay life. Just don't pay 11 life. All right? Don't pay 11 life unless you want to do the exactsies. I heal up to 65, but I'll be taking at least 19 damage. Oh, or they could do that. That's not guaranteed lethal anymore. It was guaranteed lethal. You know what? This person doesn't want guaranteed lethal. They want revenge. $12 life! They were actually also at 12 life. Now they're at 39. They got the big boys. They said good game. Are they gonna sacrifice the Citadel? Yeah! And because they have a Blood Artist on the board, that will kill me. They're just going for the difficult way to kill me. Target opponent loses their life. That's me. I'm also gonna lose 10 off of Bolus's Citadel. Also, the Scrivener is like, hey, I've got triggers. Would you stop, Scrivener? Would you stop? He says never. GG, Soren. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. As always, if you'd like to watch me record these live, you should come over to twitch.tv/Amazonian, where I play Magic almost every single day. Even sometimes on my day off, because I really love Magic the Gathering and I like to share it with the people who watch my channel. If you'd like to support my stream, I now have a Ko-Fi link that is in the description of my videos, as well as my deck list. So if you want to throw me $5 so I can get an extra coffee, I appreciate it. Thanks to viewers like you, I can do what I do full time, and it's really wonderful to have that opportunity. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.